What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of AMNL Political Views. I am your host, Aviance
And
Watts.
I'm Michelle Tyson.
And today, you guys, on Local Views, I just read that in the city of Muskegon County Jail, there's been 5 people that's been charged with the death um, of an inmate. Now, what happened was, he, pretty much he was in his own cell because, he was arrested and was in his own cell, for the detoxification cell that they put you in to, kind of, you know. But anyway, so what happened was this man, he had like 15 seizures, y'all, and 4 of the people were, pretty much staff of the county jail. The fifth person was from a independent contracting people company called WellPath, and what they do is they provide medical service and stuff like that for the inmates. So out of those 5 people, now mind you, this man had 15 seizures, y'all, which is crazy. He had 15 seizures. They got it all on video, and some of the seizures, some of the staff members saw in person, and they still denied this dude for medical care and whatever. So five of those people, 5 staff members, and well, 4, including one independent contractor, is being charged with manslaughter, involuntary manslaughter. The family they performed an independent investigation and an independent autopsy from the Muskegon County, and they found that again he had 15 seizures, y'all. 15.
Wow.
That is crazy. And didn't provide him no type of medical attention. I mean, based on the video and surveillance and stuff like that, and really, his medication, according to the his medical records, his medication that he was required to have, with one of the side effects was severe withdrawals, and it might lead into a seizure. So he wasn't provided his proper medication or none of that. So we our prayers go out to the family.
Right.
Actually his name was, let me get this right. No, I'm a matter of fact, the people that are charged, let me get the names right. Jeffrey Patterson, Crystal Green, Jamal Lane, David Vanderland, and Aubrey Scotts were all arraigned, and this was today, but it happened back in April of 2019.
Mm.
The guy's name that Paul Boathouse. Paul Boathouse. He was 39 when he passed.
Wow.
Once again, our prayers go out to him and his family.
Definitely.
And we hope justice is actually served. We hold people accountable, for their actions, because I mean, we don't really know everything, but as of right
Right.
now, I mean, come on, man. He had 15 seizures.
But
Come on
I
now.
can say, I know Sheriff William. He's on a lot of the damn meetings, and
Okay.
I get a lot of the updates. Um, and I know they just did a new program with the Progressive Women's Caucus,
Hmm.
to improve conditions within the jails and
And see, that's what I'm
prisons.
talking about, man.
So I can
Like,
honestly say
it's people that do
that it
care.
is people that do
Hmm.
care, and
Yeah.
that, everybody is not a bad person.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm meeting a whole lot of different people, and like I said, I can honestly say shout out to Sheriff um, William for stepping up and creating more safer conditions for the prisoners. So, like I said, he's working really hard
Now,
with different
what position
organizations.
does he hold?
He's the sheriff.
He is Muskegon County Sheriff.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. I
Yep,
mean, and
he's been
actually,
in.
I think according to that article, the they did an investigation
Yes,
also.
they did.
They did.
And
So let's
the
not forget
prosecuting
that.
office too.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
DJ,
DJ
yes,
Hilson and all them, they did their own
own
independent
investigations.
investigation as well. So yeah, shout
So
out to
shout out to
DJ.
them.
Yeah.
Yes, for taking
Yeah, for really
chance.
taking charge and really taking a stand on what's right and holding people accountable for their actions. But yeah, and actually in statewide views, I also wanna, I know we cover a lot about COVID, and we also, we want to keep you guys informed on what's going on,
That's
as far
right.
as the numbers. I know a couple weeks ago, we did a show. One of our episodes was the numbers were down, and like 2 weeks later, y'all, 2 weeks later, Michigan became the highest. It's really 5 states that make up almost half the cases. Michigan is one of them. New York is another one. I don't know the other three offhand, but I can give you that number later. But according to MLive and the Muskegon Chronicle, um, out of roughly 2 million fully vaccinated people who got both vaccines, both of them, about 250, exactly 246, so let's say like 250, still tested positive for COVID, which is interesting. But one thing I can say about that is the vaccine is not 100% effective. It's between 95 to 98% effective. So we can't, you know what I'm saying? So I mean so basically in other words, 0.0001% of the people that got both vaccines tested positive. That's still a low number, so real low
Very
number.
low. Very low.
But at the same time, Michigan is one. Actually, Michigan is the highest.
Yes.
Michigan got the highest positive cases. Hospitals are starting to fill up again. So again, y'all, I can't stress it enough. Let's keep wearing our masks, keeping our hands sanitized. Let's stay close to our hygiene and stuff like that. What you're
Follow the
supposed to do
6 feet
anyway.
rule.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys, the masks are gonna be like part of the norm. So you might as well get
Might as well keep a mask, keep a couple masks
And
on you.
I see so many people in different areas all over. I mean, it's just not one area, it's all over. I see so many people walking around here in large gatherings without masks. And you see there are school closings
Mm-hmm. We got
because
like
of
2 or
that.
3
Yes.
in Muskegon County alone.
And
That's close.
unless we want to be totally shut down, yes, we really need to start being aware that COVID is still on the rise again because we got so comfortable. I understand it's getting hot. Lord knows I do. Everybody wants to travel. We've been stuck around,
What's crazy is hard to really like. How is it? How is it that it's Michigan out of all the states?
Because we go out of town so much.
More than anybody though.
Obviously,
maybe we do travel
and
to
I
Atlanta.
think Michigan is the one of the. I think we fight it so much.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. We had that mind frame of where oh, I'm good. COVID ain't nothing.
I know California opened all the way back up.
Yeah.
California opened. Well,
but I bet they probably 6 feet and they probably masking it up. And they probably taking the necessary measures that it takes to stay safe. But we walk around here like it's no COVID. I was downtown
we was the ones
yesterday.
that had the most strict shutdown.
Yeah, but we was the ones that fought it the most also. Definitely fought it the most.
Yeah.
Yesterday, when I took the grandkids out, nobody had masks on. Everybody was just out enjoying the sunshine. Nobody had masks on. And I'm like, are you guys serious right now? I mean, I took my grandkids. I said we had to go to a secluded spot because No.
Because now, I mean, and uh, we need to educate our community on these numbers. I mean, because really, it's is even though I mean, we don't. You really nothing is 100%.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To me, nothing is 100%. And really, and we gotta keep in mind that this pandemic is not only is it affecting us economically, it's affecting our kids educationally.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, yeah, they going remotely and that's cool, whatever. But at the same time, a lot of parents we need to start, being hands on with our kids and they learning.
Especially right now, you
Yes.
guys. Um, they they put in a motion to have the SAT testing um, waived for this year like they did last year.
Mm-hmm.
The first year it got they said, okay, we'll waive it. But
Mm-hmm.
this year, the United States Board of Education said, no, these kids still have to take this test. And that's crazy because number one, our kids are not getting the proper education.
Not consistently.
Not consistently.
Yeah.
They're getting education, but come on, let's be honest. It's not the same as it used to be
Before this pandemic.
Before the pandemic. We knew.
Because we still kind of adjusting to some type of system. I mean, we still really kind of are.
Then you got computer glitches. I mean, it's so many inconsistencies in this new process that's going to be a hindrance to our children. And I think that
I mean, that's crazy.
They were wrong for denying the waiver. Yeah. I mean, because they can't possibly test at a good at a
Because they ain't learned nothing. I mean, I ain't gonna say they haven't learned anything. I would say they haven't learned like they were learning to be prepared.
And by you being a teacher, I mean
that's
you got firsthand experience. Like,
I mean, you just know it's like, I mean, don't give me again. I'm not saying they haven't learned anything, but they haven't learned because of the pandemic. I mean, they had to create remote learning and in certain hours and a whole curriculum for that. So they pretty much had to start from scratch. And then now the school's back opening, but they're not opening 5 days a week. They're opening 4 days a week, and so you still have to adjust and create a curriculum to that. And it can be a lot, y'all, just to adjust to one of them, and then you still switching it. And then see now, just like we covered on our last episode, the numbers are going up because of traveling.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? After spring break, two of our schools are already closed down. I mean, already shut down as far as for another pandemic, and they are going only remotely because of it. So these kids haven't really got a consistent, learning. You know what I'm saying? So so it's kind of hard to, like you was just saying, wow, implement this, the test, and they're not prepared for it, y'all.
They're not. And it's going to be so hard for them to prepare for this test because you have working parents and the students are only getting a certain amount of education, whether it's remote or whether it's in school. So therefore, I mean, you got some schools that started later. You got some schools that opened up
earlier.
Yeah. So it's like it's not a balance. It needs to be a balance in order for you to properly
hitting them with the text.
Right. You can't properly get the proper statistics that you guys are looking for. It doesn't work that way. You have to be able to give them the opportunity to prepare and to be at their best. And this
provide them with that proper education that they need
and the materials that they need to be in order to take this test. Because that's not a simple test. That's a long test, and I remember when we used to prepare for the test. You used to take like a couple of days out the week just to prepare for the test. So I know for a fact for them not to even be able to prepare for this test, that's
And
a
you know, one
lot.
thing I learned, I don't remember. I remember back in the day, we used to take something called the MEP test.
Yeah, that's part of it also.
Yeah, like back in like the second, third grade. You know what I'm saying? Like they have us all in this room and we taking the MEP test. I learned that taking the MEP test in the second grade, based on your second grade scores, this is a fact, y'all. Look it up. Based on your second grade MEP scores, back then when we were in elementary, that would determine how many more prisons to build because that would that's data that the that they have to determine because if the scores are low, they already know it's
Mhm.
time to build some more. It's time to build some more prisons because they on their way. They up and coming.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and start building them now. So by the time they in the 12th grade or seniors or something like that, they ready. They ready.
And
You know what I'm
it's
saying?
sad to
So
say, but
it's
that
sad to
is
say
true.
that. So we
That
gotta
is
prep
very
them,
true.
y'all. We gotta prep them. We gotta prep these kids for these tests. And I mean, even though it should be the test should be outside of the box as opposed, you know what I'm saying? Like it should be more, based on, I mean, because that's just like, okay, certain tests is like that's just like for fish, you testing the fish and the squirrel to climb a tree.
Mhm.
Okay, the fish genius ain't climbing up a tree. The fish element in his genius is in the water. So how is you testing him on the same thing you testing the squirrel? Squirrel can run straight up a tree.
There you go. Those tests have never been
It's not equal playing
equal.
field.
It's never been equal.
So I mean, at least we can do is prep them for it, y'all. Because I mean, a
Yes.
lot we've all took it as adult, since we're adults and we're grown. We took a lot of those tests, and I mean, if we work with our kids hands on with math and English and penmanship, when I say penmanship, I mean knowing how to write. They took that. That's all out of the curriculum now. They don't even teach kids how to write no more. They don't even teach
Oh,
kids how to tell time on a
all right.
hand clock.
Yes.
They took all that out, y'all. So it's gonna take us to really bring that back to them because they're gonna need it in the long run. Yeah, it's gonna be e-signatures and all of that, but these tests, in order to excel in this world, in this day and age, you're gonna need it. You're gonna need it, and we gotta prep our kids for that, man.
Mm.
So yeah, I totally agree. That's not fair because they should at least because again the last I say year since this pandemic, it's been crazy. And these kids been having a hard time having a consistent learning pattern, where they can go to school and have a routine where they can go and, everything is everything. And then after that, it's always a routine. But now it's like, okay, you stop, you can go, you stop, we're going to shut it down. Now we're going to open it back up.
Yeah.
And then by the time y'all get back, we might shut it back down. Instead of 5 days, it's 4 days. On the fourth day, in the middle of the week, it's a lot for these kids to adjust to, much less learn the new curriculum that's presented to them.
Yeah. To be perfectly honest, I say until everybody is vaccinated, shut it down. I mean, because especially our youth, because number one, um, they are our future, and number two, they are our children. We want them to remain healthy and safe. We don't want anything to happen
And
to our
still
youth.
learn.
Yes. So, I mean, I honestly believe sooner or later they're going to make the vaccinations for the youth the
They
same
are actually
way
now.
the immunization. You're going to be required to get your child vaccinated in order for them to attend school. So if you guys didn't have a problem with the immunization, you might as well consider the vaccination another immunization. I mean,
And if you don't want to take the vaccination, keep them home.
and teach them yourself.
Or they can go remotely or homeschool. You got choices.
Yeah, there are choices. But I think, and if you want your child to have that a
A
little,
social life
yeah, and a
and
little
able
sense
to
of normalcy, I think you should go ahead and get them vaccinated and get yourself vaccinated as well. I mean, it doesn't hurt, even though, like you said, about 0.1,
0.0001. I'm gonna
you
say it
know.
again. No, it's 0.301%.
I mean, so that's a very, very low number. So I think everyone should really get vaccinated and let's start some process of healing and getting back to a little bit of normalcy. Um, I've been vaccinated. I'll do it again if I had to. Because I'm one of those people that are really scared to be around a whole lot of people now. Um, if you're not in my circle, I don't want you really around me. If my job ever opens back up, I am gone. As long as we got that outside rolling, I'm good. When we go to that inside, because that's too many germs. And I see so many ambulances hitting the nursing homes again. Um, I'm anxious to see those numbers because I know they kind of open back up also as well. So I'm kind of anxious to see those numbers as well. But I do want to touch on a couple of one thing before we kind of get off tonight. It is almost election time for some people. Some people who are running for offices. Um, I think their deadline is April this month. Pretty um, like for commission downtown, for board, maybe Norton Shores, Roosevelt Park. I know Heights isn't until July, so um, guys, anybody that is running for any type of office, um, and you want to get a chance to have people know who you are and tell the community why you're running.
What you stand
and what
for.
you stand for, what's your platform, what can we expect from you? Please get in contact with us, and we'd be happy to have you on our show.
You can use this platform to speak your
yes, because we want the community to be aware of who our candidates are, who,
and that's Democrat or Republican.
yes,
Let's get that straight
yes,
because
we
or independent or
yes,
swing voter, however y'all want to go. Nah, every
yeah. I mean,
more than welcome to use this
we
platform.
just want our community to be able to know
Yes,
who
yes.
our candidates are, what they stand for, and then that way they can get a better view and a better opinion on how they want to vote. We're not persuading people how to vote. We just want people to get out and vote.
And vote.
Yes, definitely.
Because at the end of the day, we're not, because people look at it like this, and this is something we should all dispel. Okay, if you are a Democrat, don't look at the Republican as an enemy. If you're a Republican, don't look at the Democrat as an enemy. You know what I'm saying? Because because Republicans is what, red, Democrats blue. That's like Bloods and Crips. You know what I'm saying, y'all? At the end of the day, we all want the betterment for our brother and sister and the betterment for our community. So, let's stop looking at it like that. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
because right now it's looking like gang, like you
yeah,
said, Bloods and Crips.
that's how I look
And I
at it. When
know,
these red and blue states, I'm like, man, that look like a.
and I know a lot of the young folks probably said the same thing. Like, oh, they talking about us in gangs, but look at
They
their
got
gang
red and blue
colors, red
states.
and blue.
And it's like an enemy type thing.
Yeah, and it's been that way for years.
We gotta stop that, y'all.
Yes.
We gotta stop that, y'all.
Yes.
For real. We gotta let that go. Because at the end of the day, again, we all want.
We all have an opinion, But I would be so glad when we can agree to disagree and all agree for the greater good. I think our world would be so much better.
Mhm.
And you know, everybody say, Michelle, you dreaming. True enough, it might be far stretch, but
I'd rather
it
be a
don't.
dream than a nightmare.
There you go. And it don't hurt to try it. I mean, never
Mhm.
hurt to try.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that's all I kind of wanted to touch on right
That's cool.
now.
That's cool. And I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. So y'all, that concludes another episode of A&M Political Views. We are your host, Aviance Watts.
And I'm Michelle Tyson.
You guys enjoy the rest of your night. Have a good one.
Good night, you
Thanks for
guys.
tuning in.